Oregon did not score every time it possessed the ball Saturday. It only seemed that way. It almost was that way, in fact. Oregon turned in a performance so offensive against Southern California that it offended defensive purists. The Ducks accumulated more yards than any one opponent ever gained against the Trojans. In the Ducks' head-spinning calculator requiring 62-51 victory, running back Kenjon Barner recorded 324 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns. Those game totals would comprise a solid night for most teams, not the statistics for one back whose quarterback matched his touchdown total. Thus a game once billed among the year's best regained some of the luster it lost when the Trojans, the last Pacific 12 team to beat the Ducks, stumbled twice earlier this season. Oregon needed to keep pace with undefeated Notre Dame, which eked out a triple overtime win Saturday, along with Kansas State and Alabama. The first half featured a dizzying display of offense and the corresponding absence of any resistance from both defenses. Defense may win championships, but it did not win much of anything here. This was a shootout, more football meets basketball meets track and field. Fans' heads snapped back and forth as if they were at a tennis match. The teams combined for 864 yards of offense and 8 touchdowns. For Oregon, quarterback Marcus Mariota tossed 3 touchdown passes and Barner scampered for 169 yards and 2 scores. For Southern California, quarterback Matt Barkley accumulated 303 passing yards and threw for 2 touchdowns of his own. These were, it should be noted, first half total, not game total. Not to game total. First half total. Somewhere, Buddy Ryan probably turned off his television in disgust. Oregon's first drive, on the game's opening possession, proved something of a harbinger. The Ducks ran 5 plays on that drive. They gained 75 yards. When D'Anthony Thomas hauled in a 16-yard score from Mariota, all of 65 seconds had elapsed. The game continued in this fashion. Barkley set the Pac-12 career completion record in the first quarter with number 931. He favored the big play and the long drive. Oregon went with the quick strike. The Ducks ran their offense like Arkansas once ran its famous college basketball press. It was the football version of 40 minutes of hell. The Ducks never paused for trivial matters like huddles, or to catch their breath or strategize. They paused only when they reached the end zone. Perhaps Barner, a Duck who enjoys pedicures and ballet class, deserves some Heisman consideration, after he spent another Saturday cutting left and jutting right and strutting in for scores. Early into the second quarter, he broke up the middle, slid right and darted 27 yards for a 21-3 lead. On Oregon's next possession, Barner again cut right, again raised his arms in celebration. He set up that touchdown with a 41-yard jaunt up the left sideline. This marked something of another day at the offense office for Barner and the Ducks. It also marked Barner's 5th straight 100-yard game, and he passed both the 1,000-yard season rushing mark and the 5,000-yard career all-purpose yards mark. What looked like a blowout eventually turned back into a game. Late in the second quarter, Oregon's Rob Beard missed a 41-yard field goal attempt wide left. On the next play, Barkley connected with Nelson Agholor for a 76-yard bomb, which cut the halftime margin to 34-24. The Trojans received the ball first after the break and employed the best tactic to limit Oregon's potent offense: keep it off the field. The Trojans consumed more than 5 minutes of game clock with an 11-play, 65-yard drive that culminated in a 2-yard touchdown plunge from running back Silas Redd. Previous to Saturday, critics complained that the Ducks had not yet been tested, had not yet played a legitimate opponent, in a close game, with those national championship hopes at stake. This qualified, even if Southern California is not exactly Alabama. The Coliseum, once silent, all but exploded in jubilation. The stands shook. The band played. The crowd jumped up and down. Oregon Federal Barner ran him right and left and up the gut, on tosses and stretch plays and dives. He converted a key 4th and 1 in the third quarter, then recorded his 3rd touchdown 3 plays later. Oregon led, 41-31, and it seemed as if both teams could, and would, score until time ran out. Which was pretty much what happened. To reinforce that notion, the Trojans promptly scored again. 41-38. Back and forth it swung, this pendulum of points. Oregon scored again. 48-38. Oregon scored. 55-38. USC scored. 55-45. The Ducks' defense, which entered this contest allowing an average of 7 points in the first half, struggled against the Trojans. But Oregon did force 3 turnovers, all in the first half, which has become something of a calling card. The biggest surprise, though, came late in the fourth quarter, when something foreign happened. The Ducks punted.